Good afternoon po. Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, Payawin Gubat Sorsogon. Today is April 20, 2026, scheduled for today's pre-bid conference is for the contract 26FL0048 with contract name Construction Completion of Public Health Facility, Health Station, Barangay Santa Lourdes, Barcelona, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's pre-bid conference are the following: Joanna C. Calagos, Back Chairman; Levi Pura Jr., Back Vice Chairman; Leia E. Fontenares, Back Member; Jesalo R. Almeida, Back Member; Cecil L. Divisin, Back Member; Dave B. Almeida, TWG, present po; Grace E. Perez from Planning; Glenn L. Elisio, Back Member, Back Secretariat; Liani Albay, IT. Madam Chair, for today's pre-bid conference, meron na po tayong quorum and wala po tayong present na contractor here today.
Okay, since we have a quorum, this pre-bid conference is now called to order. The agenda for this pre-bid meeting are as follows. First, the basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, cost qualification and award, summary of proceedings, including bid bulletins, supplemental to be issued, questions, comments from the bidders, and replies of the BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Grace Perez.
For basic contract data with contract ID 26FL0048 with contract name Construction Completion of Public Health Facility, Health Station, Barangay Santa Lourdes, Barcelona, Sorsogon, with contract location at Barcelona, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract is 2,970,000 pesos. Source of fund is GA FY 2026. Contract duration is 104 calendar days. Predetermined unworkable number of days is 15 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 5,000 pesos. Submission of bids scheduled on May 4, 2026 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids shall proceed immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work is BICWO PLC. Project description, the scope of works. The scope of work for this project includes the completion and construction of a 10-meter by 11-meter public health facility, health station. Works cover the construction of structural components, masonry, roofing, doors and windows installation, and finishing work such as flooring and painting. It also includes the construction and fit-out of the treatment and consultation room, prenatal and infant examination room, lobby and waiting area, common toilet and hand washing area, as well as plumbing and electrical installations and other miscellaneous works necessary to make the facility fully operational. Objective. The primary objectives for this project are to provide an accessible and functional health facility for the residents of Barangay Santa Lourdes, to improve the delivery of primary healthcare services including treatment, consultation, and material and child health care. To promote preventive health care through regular check-ups, prenatal services, and health education activities. To ensure a safe, sanitary, and organized environment for both healthcare workers and patients. Here's the geotag photos taken during validation. And the environmental clearance as well as the proof of ownership. Next will be shown is the detailed engineering design plan for this project. The project's location map and vicinity map, and the perspective. Project's elevation plan, and other details for the project. Next is the project's perspective. requirements of bidding documents, instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms. For the bid data sheet, next will be shown to us is the special conditions of contract. Next is the project's bill of quantities. For minimum manpower requirement, for project manager must have handled infrastructure projects. For project engineer must be DPWH accredited PE. For materials engineer must be DPWH accredited ME. General construction foreman must have handled similar projects, and for safety and health officer must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. For minimum equipment requirement, dump truck all models 1 unit, payloader 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, low bed trailer truck 1 unit.
Key points. The lowest calculated responsibility will be used as criteria for award. The amount of the advance payment is 50% of the total contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payments shall be first be charged against the advance payment until the later has been fully exhausted at the option of the procuring entity. The contractor shall submit the program of work to the procuring entity within 10 days of the delivery from the notice of award. Sinusunod po natin ang two-envelope system, where the first envelope contains the eligibility and technical documents, and the second envelope contains the financial proposals. Bid validity po natin is 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. For sealing and markings, ganyan po ang ating sealing and markings sa ating original bid. Yung first envelope, the original technical. Yung second envelope, the original financial. Enclosed in a single envelope, marked original bid. Each envelope should contain the name of the contract to bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient rank, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Ganun din po for sa ating copy 1. Each envelope should contain the name of the contract to bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient rank, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Lahat po yan, yung original bid at saka yung copy bid shall then be enclosed with a single bid, yung model envelope po natin. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient rank, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Unsealed and unmarked bid shall not be accepted. Not compressed and not password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked bids shall be accepted. Improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted, provided that the contractor shall accept the documents as presented or as submitted. Submission and receipt of bids. For bids modification, bids modification shall be submitted before the deadline of the date of the submission of bids. The bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. However, shall submit new bid equally sealed, properly identified, and linked to its original bid and marked as a modification. For letter of withdrawals must be received prior to the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn and the interval between the deadline and expiration of the bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic bids po, submission shall be sent to another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as a modification of the one previously submitted. The time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission of bids. Meron po tayong two modes of submission of bid, either manual submission of bid or electronic submission of bids. Ang bidder may opt only one mode lang po sa pag-submit ng kanilang bids. For manual submission of bids, yan po ay sa Box Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon 2nd D o Barangay Payawin, Lourdes, Sorsogon. For electronic bids naman po, ayan po sa electronic bids _ Sorsogon 2 at dpwh.com.ph. DPWH. Eligibility criteria. The following persons and entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding of infrastructure projects: duly licensed Filipino citizen or sole proprietorships, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines, corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines, cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities forming themselves into a joint venture. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects when provided for under any treaty or international or executive agreement as provided in Section 4 of the IRR of RA 12009. Bidders must have a valid PCAM license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract to be bid, at least 50% of the ABC. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or similar performance and monitoring system as per Section 52.4.2.5 of RA 12009. Contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience, provided the cost of the contract to bid is not more than the ARCC administration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC. Stated in the invitation to bid, contractors, applicants who wish to participate in the bidding must be in the document request list, BRL, of the PhilJEP's website and secure a printout copy showing that they are included in the list and are encouraged to enroll in a DPWH Civil Works application, CWA, at the Bonifacio Drives, at the DPWH Procurement Service, 5th floor, DPWH Building, Bonifacio Drive, Port Area, Manila. While those who have already enrolled shall keep their records current and updated. The contractor's eligibility to bid on the project will be determined using the DPWH Contractor Profile Eligibility Process, CPEP, and subject to further post-qualification. We encourage our bidders po to enroll in the CWA to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. Ito po ang kailangan nilang isubmit. Ano ito? Okay. For those who have not yet enrolled po, itong mga documents ang kailangan isubmit. Class A legal documents, PhilJEP Certificate of Registration, PCAM License and Registration, Statement of Ongoing Government and Private Contracts, Statement of Bidder's Single Largest Completed Contract, Computation of the NFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Bid security in a form of cash or managed check, bank draft, bank guarantee 2%, surety bond callable upon demand 5%, bid securing declaration. Please be guided po ng ating panibagong format ng ating bid securing declaration as per RA 12009. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment unit owned or leased or under purchase agreement. Latest General Information Sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for Corporation. Sworn affidavit of eligibility of beneficial ownership showing that the template attached as Annex A for all bidders including sole proprietorships. ISO 9001-2015 certification or its latest version as applicable Department Order 1100 Series of 2024. Omnibus Sworn Statement duly notarized. Please be guided po ulit ng ating RA 12009 sa panibagong format ng ating Omnibus Sworn Statement. Yan po ang sample ng ating bid securing declaration. Revised Omnibus Sworn Statement. Sundin na lang po natin yung nasa RA 12009. Yan po. For financial envelope naman po, ang laman naman po yan ay ang bid form, summary bid prices, and the bill of quantities. Detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment. Cash flow by quarter and month payment schedule, other documents required po. Yan po ang ating sample ng ating bid form. Okay, sundan lang po, yun po ang panibago natin as per RA 1200. For detailed evaluation of bid, ang purpose po niyan is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids, ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. The method and non-discretionary criteria shall be used, which should include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. In case of discrepancies within bid price in figures versus bid price in words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity. The unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. The stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items. The actual sum of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminders po sa ating mga bidders of the no contract rule until the issuance po ng award. Purpose qualification, ang purpose po niya is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents to be declared as the lowest calculated responsive bid. Ang method is a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion shall be used to verify validity of certain all statements and documents to be submitted by the lowest calculated bid. Common reasons po for disqualification. Letter A, submission of bids without valid reason. Late submission of bids without valid reason. Submission of patently insufficient bids. Submission of an expired field job certificate of registration. Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, curriculum vitae. Failure to submit the required bid form. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provisions and statements from the required bid forms. Submission of bid form, bid securing declaration, omnibus form statement, and joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series 2012. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease and purchase agreement, pledge equipment, insufficient NFCC, insufficient SLCC.
So, are there any clarification? So since we have no other matters to discuss, this pre-bid conference is now adjourned.